All right. So I call the meeting to order. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the 14th annual general meeting of your company. This is being held through a video conferencing facility. As per the Article 54 of the Articles of Association of the company, in the absence of the chairman, any director of the company can chair the meeting.
I'm Pradeep Kapadia, a director of the company. I propose that Mr. Vasant Sansgiri should chair this meeting.
I'm DJ Prasad, independent director of the company. I agree for Mr. Vasant Sansgiri to be the chairman for the AGM.
Thank you, Mr. Pradeep, and thank you, Mr. Prasad. Uh, Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Vasant Sansgiri and chairman attending this meeting through video conferencing. I'm at my residence in Mumbai. I welcome all the shareholders to the 14th annual general meeting of the company, which is being held through video conferencing as per the circular issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Securities and Exchange Board of India. As per circulars issued by Ministry of Corporate Affairs by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and SEBI, the company had sent notice of the AGM along with the link of the annual report to all those members whose addresses are registered with the company, stroke depositories, or who have registered their email ID with the company, stroke registrar and transfer agent. I request now Mr. Rakesh Navani, Company Secretary, to provide general instructions to the members regarding participation in this meeting.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, shareholders. I am Rakesh Narwani, Company Secretary. I am attending this meeting from a residence at Nagpur. Most of you must have by now had the first-hand experience of joining and participating in the AGM through video conferencing. I would still like to take a few minutes of your time to take you through the certain procedural and technical aspects in relation to this meeting. All the members who have joined this meeting are by default placed on mute mode by the host to avoid any disturbance or inconvenience arising from the background noise and to ensure smooth and seamless conduct of the meeting proceedings. Once the question and answer session commences, the chairman will announce names of shareholders who have registered as speaker shareholders one by one. Only the audio of the speaker shareholder will be thereafter be unmuted by the host. To start speaking, the shareholder is requested to click on video on button only once and wait till the video is on. If the shareholder is not able to join the video or for any reason, the shareholder can speak through the audio. While speaking, we request the speaker to use earphones so that he or she is clearly audible, to minimize any noise in the background, to ensure that Wi-Fi is not connected to any other device. No other background applications are running, and there is proper light to have a good video experience. If there is a connectivity problem at the speaker shareholder's end, we would invite the next speaker to join. Once the connectivity improves, the speaker shareholder may be invited again to speak once the other shareholders who have registered complete their term. We would request the shareholders to be slow but loud while asking their questions so as to capture them clarity. We would request the shareholders to limit their speech to 3 minutes. During the AGM, if a member faces any technical issues, he may contact the helpline numbers mentioned in the notice of the annual general meeting. The statutory registers as required under the provisions of Companies Act 2013 are made available electronically for inspection by the members during the AGM. Members seeking to inspect the documents can send the request to company's email ID at the secretarial@gopaltextiles.com. A live streaming of this meeting is also being broadcasted on the NSR's website. In compliance with the provisions of Section 108 of the Companies Act 2013, Rule 20 of the Company's Management and Administration Rules 2014 as amended, and Regulation 44 of SEBI LODR, the company had provided e-voting facility to the members of the company in respect of the business to be transacted at this annual general meeting. The remote e-voting period commenced at 9 a.m. Saturday, September 26, 2020, and ended at 5 p.m. on Monday, September 28, 2020. The members participating in this AGM through video conferencing and who have not casted their vote by remote e-voting shall be able to exercise the right to vote through e-voting system during the AGM. Members may go to the voting page of NSDL e-voting website and cast their vote while at the same time watch the proceedings of the meeting. I now request Chairman Sir to pay for the proceedings. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rakesh. I'm sure you all know by now the board members and have met them earlier. Nevertheless, I will request them to quickly introduce themselves so that in the new format, at least you are familiar. I request Mr. Pradeep Kamadia to introduce himself. Mr. Kamadia, you need to unmute yourself, please.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. I'm Pradeep Kapadia, Independent Director of the company. I serve as the Chairman of the Stakeholder and Relationship Committee. I'm also a member of Audit Committee, NRC, and Corporate Social Responsibility Committee of the company. I'm attending this meeting from Mumbai.
Thank you, Mr. Kapadia. I request Mr. DG Prasad to introduce himself.
I'm DG Prasad. I'm an independent director on the board of Gokak Textiles Limited. I'm also the chairman of the audit committee. I'm participating in the AGM from my residence in Hyderabad, and I welcome all of you to the AGM, all the shareholders to the AGM. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I now request Mr. Nikhil Bhatia to introduce himself. You need to unmute yourself, Nikhil. Yeah, please.
I am unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Once again, good afternoon to all. I am Nikhil Bhatia, Independent Director and Chairman of the Nomination Remuneration Committee and the Corporate Social Responsibility Committee of the Board of Directors. I'm attending this meeting from my residence in Mumbai.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Bhatia. I'll request Tripti Navani to introduce herself.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Tripti Navani, non-executive, non-independent director of the company. I'm attending this meeting from my residence at Mumbai. Thank you and welcome everyone at this AGM.
Thank you, Tripti. Request Mr. Aran Patil to introduce himself, please. Mr. Patil, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. I am Ramesh Patil, CEO and MD of the company, Textile Limited. I am also a member of the Audit Committee and Stakeholdership Committee of Directors. I presently am attending this meeting from the company's office at Gokak Falls. Thank you and I welcome everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Patil. I request Mr. Avdut Sarnaik to introduce himself, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Avdut Sarnaik, Chief Financial Officer of the Gokak Textiles Limited. I'm attending this meeting from Gokak Textile Office from Gokak.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you, lady, for your introductions. The representatives from Messrs. Bartley Boy and Purohit, Chartered Accountants, Statutory Auditors, and KDSH and Associates LLP, Secretarial Auditors, are also attending this meeting through video conference. As required, the quorum is present, and I now call the meeting to order. The company has received one representation covering 47,80,845 equity shares aggregating to 73.56% of the total paid share capital. I take the notice dated June 29, 2020, convening the 14th annual general meeting.
Yeah.
Sorry? Convening the 14th Annual General Meeting along with explanatory statements as read. There are no qualifications in the auditor's report on standalone and consolidated financial statements. Hence, it is not required to be read. The secretarial auditor's report does not contain any qualifications and reservations and adverse remarks or disclaimers. Your company is engaged in the manufacture and selling of cotton, gray and dyed yarn, and knitted garments. The consolidated financial statement for the financial year 2019-2020 of the company and its subsidiary company, along with the auditor's report thereon, form part of the annual report mailed to you. The audited financial results of the company for the year ended March 31st, 2020 were approved and submitted to the Bombay Stock Exchange on June 29th, 2020. Your company's standalone and consolidated financial results for the June 2020 quarter were announced and submitted to the Bombay Stock Exchange, the company's website, on August 20th, 2020. I'm sure you have spared time to go through it. Director's report sets out detailed analysis of the results of the operations, financial condition, opportunities and future plans and challenges ahead. I would therefore not intend to repeat the same. However, I would like to specifically mention some of them. The Indian economy is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. The Indian economy will would have further improved, but the pandemic outbreak has affected India to a great extent. However, with the gradual opening of the lockdown, situation is expected to improve. The textile industry mainly depends upon the availability of the raw material, cheap power, and labor employment. Due to the rising disposable income, rapid urbanization with increased population, the Indian economy will emerge faster than like the economies of China and Mexico, who are responsible for driving the higher market growth. The Indian textile industry accounts for 13 to 14% of the industry output, employing about 38 to 40 million people. It is one of the major contributors to the manufacturing sector. India is the second largest producer and exporter of textile products after China. There are also several competition from Bangladesh, Vietnam, and Pakistan. The Indian textile industry continues to be dominated by cotton, followed by polyester and viscose fiber, although highest fiber consumption globally is dominated by man-made fibers, having 65 to 70% of the share of the total fiber consumed. The cotton supply for the year 2020-2021 is likely to be 354 lakh bales. Due to the good monsoons in the last 2 years, it is expected that the cotton cultivation will be good. But due to the COVID-19 situation, cotton and yarn prices will be under the pressure throughout the year, domestically as well as internationally, due to the lack of demand. Once demand for garments picks up internationally and locally, situation may improve and start coming back to normalcy and may improve working of the mills. The overall textile market was very bad due to the lack of demand and high raw material prices. The company's captive power generation was stopped due to the submergence of the 8 megawatt power plant in the month of August 2019 due to the heavy flooding of the river. Therefore, outside purchase of power, which cost was very high, hence capacity utilization was reduced. All the efforts were made on the marketing of different product mix to supply to the domestic market since demand for the exports were less. The company also introduced linen cotton brand blends. The company have also started importing bamboo fiber and started manufacturing 100% bamboo yarn and terry towels in-house. The company has made exports amounting to rupees 691.71 lakhs in the financial year 2019-2020. New products developed in knitwear division in previous years have commercialized successfully. Efforts are being made to increase the customer base. On the consolidated basis, revenues for the financial year 2019-2020 were 10,742.55 lakhs as against 18,685.16 lakhs in the previous year. Consolidated loss for the financial year 2019-2020 was 4,777.45 lakhs as compared to 3,228.86 lakhs in the previous year. On a standalone basis, revenues for the financial year 2019-2020 were at rupees 10,216.41 lakhs as against 18,001.66 lakhs in the previous year. Standalone loss for the financial year 2019-2020 was 4,777.51 lakhs as compared to 3,568.62 lakhs in the previous year. As stated by the statutory auditors in their report, financial statements have been prepared on a going concern basis. The company has been impacted as much as other companies due to the COVID-19, and we had to shut our operations from March 24th to May 3rd, 2020 due to the nationwide lockdown. The manufacturing and sales operations were at a standstill during this period, and operations commenced with effect from May 4th, 2020. As a result of this situation, sales, profitability, and liquidity were impacted negatively in the first quarter of the financial year 2020-21. It is expected that as the situation of the COVID-19 improves, operations will reach at optimum levels of capacity in due course of time. The company's foray into the medical textiles segment may benefit in the near future and medium term. According to the International Monetary Fund, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the global economy is projected to contract sharply by 3% in 2020. The global economy is projected to grow by 4 to 5.8% in 2021 as economic activities normalize. During the financial year 2019-2020, Gokak Power and Energy Limited, subsidiary of your company, has recorded gross income of 874.32 lakhs and net loss for the year was 550.26 lakhs. During the year 2019-2020, entire powerhouse of 8 megawatts situated at the Gokak Falls was submerged due to an unprecedented flood on August 7, 2019. This has greatly affected the financials of the company. Out of the 8 megawatts, 4.5 megawatt set has been repaired and restored for power generation in the month of February 2020. Out of the remaining 3.5 megawatt old hydropower plants, 2.5 megawatt has been repaired and commissioned on June 2020. The remaining 1 megawatt plant is heavily damaged and requires major repairs. The repair work is under progress and is expected to start by next month. The year 2020-2021 will also be a challenging year with industrial recession, and the textile industry is no exception to this. With this, I would like to now I would like to propose the resolutions mentioned in the notice of the AGM. Resolution 1, to adopt the standalone and consolidated financials for the financial year ended 31st March 2020, along with the report of the Board of Directors and the auditors thereon. 2, to reappoint Ms. Tripti Navani as director who retires by rotation at this AGM. And 3, ratification of remuneration of the cost auditor for the financial year 2020-2021. As I conclude, may I, on behalf of your board of directors and all the employees of your company, once again thank you all for your continued support and encouragement. Thank you. Over to you, Rakesh.
Ms. Shobna Mehta hasn't joined yet, so we can move on.
Okay, so we move on.
Yes, sir.
In case any of the registered speakers, as in this case, she did not join us, well, we request you to send in writing to the company any questions that you may want to ask. On receipt of such email requests, the company shall respond suitably. Okay. All right. So Rakesh, with that, I think I'll move on.
Yes, sir.
Has anybody asked for a question? No. No. Okay. So I thank all of you, all the shareholders, for attending the meeting and for their continued support, and authorize the company secretary to accept and countersign the scrutinizer's report and declare consolidated voting report results on the receipt of the scrutinizer's report. I now request Mr. Rakesh Nanwani to conduct the voting and conclude this meeting.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Kiran Desai, designated partner, KDSH and Associates LLP, company secretaries, have been appointed as the scrutinizer for this meeting. The results would be announced within 48 hours of conclusion of this meeting, and the same will be uploaded on the website of the company and website of the NSDL and BSC limits. The e-voting facility will remain open till 15 minutes after conclusion of this meeting to enable the shareholders to cast their vote. I request all the members to cast their votes if not casted already. Thank you.
Well, so thank you very much. And formally, the AGM is over. As Rakesh has said, the e-voting facility will be remain open for another 15 minutes.
Yes, sir.
For another 15 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, and please keep safe. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good year.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.